You're listening to Australia's #1 tech podcast. Every week, join hosts Brad and Jason here on the Tech Webcast. Download our iPhone app, follow us on Twitter at Tech Webcast, and visit us online at techwebcast.info. Here are your hosts, Brad and Jason.
Welcome to episode 167 of the Tech Webcast podcast, recorded on Saturday, the 10th of December 2011. Tech Webcast is recorded live every Saturday and rebroadcast on Aussie Tech Heads on Thursday nights at 7. Today's hosts are Brad, Jason, Aaron and Steve. Today's guest is Chris Voss. He's the president of Strategics One Consulting, sharing 20-plus years experience as serial entrepreneur of successful companies in business and marketing.
Well,
good afternoon, Brad.
Hey, Jason, how are you, mate?
That's a mouthful, isn't it?
It is very long words.
That's going to be a very big business card, right?
Yeah, hell yeah. Can't wait to see it.
What's been... Anyway?
Yeah, good, mate. Yourself?
Great. We got the app finally submitted to the App Store, but so is everybody else in the whole world. So Apple's going to be powering through millions of apps at the moment.
Can't wait to see the app on the App Store, mate. People are going to buy it and make you rich.
Yeah, and we got that special new feature for people who buy the app where they might get some extra giveaways and news and stuff in there that they won't get from the show or the website.
Cool, good stuff. Can't wait to use it.
Buy the app, universal, not for Android yet because there's a couple of things to fix on there, but definitely all the iDevices.
And that will work on the iPad and...
Yep.
Cool. Can't wait.
iPad, iPod Touch, iPhone.
Good stuff. Can't wait, mate. Next week.
Even the iPhone 5, probably.
Probably, yeah. Last show next week. Can't wait for that. That's going to be...
this is the second last one. And maybe there's an iPad 3 out in February, they reckon.
Oh, I can't wait to see that. We got Steve. Hey, Steve. Back in.
How you doing?
How you going, mate? And also got Aaron back in. Hey, Aaron. You weren't on last week, mate?
Yeah. So, now all I can think about is 6 white boomers. Thanks very much, Jason. It's like going over my head over and over and over.
Amazing sun.
Yep.
Rolf Harris.
And also we have Chris Voss on. Hey, Chris.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me.
All good,
Glad
buddy.
to be here.
Good to have you on.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show. Now, let's jump into Aaron. Now, you got some TiVo news, mate. I want to hear about that. That's important.
I don't have TiVo news. I have TiVo opinions.
Go ahead.
Actually, I have to just quickly tell you about this, right? The reason why I missed the show last week is I got back late. But Harvey Norman, every year in the Gold Coast, they hire out the Gold Coast Convention Centre and they turn the whole place into a Harvey Norman store. Oh. And they get all the wholesalers down there and everything is like selling at cost. So everything's like dirt cheap. So I bought this Samsung LED 55-inch television with a 3D Blu-ray player, spare glasses, a whole bunch of other stuff, like $2,000 all up.
That's all right.
Sweet.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you're going to be giving that away in the last show of the...
Well,
yeah, fat chance. No, but see, like the interesting thing was, right, is that's what I was doing last week on Saturday, and so you guys are talking to Jason from TechAU about TiVo.
Yep.
And it's interesting, like playing with my new television, right, and having a look at what it's doing. It's got a Samsung apps store in it.
Yep.
And you can download all sorts of apps for like Big Pond TV, Big Pond Movies, YouTube, and that sort of stuff. It even detects. Sorry.
Does it run Android?
No. I think it's Samsung's own gear that it's running. And also in the sources for the different things you can plug into it, one of the things that detects across your network is your Windows shared drives. So it's all like I was like stunned when I was flicking over to the DVD player and I saw that as an option. And I'm watching all of my videos straight off of my PC and that sort of business. And so I'm doing this as I'm listening to the show, and I'm thinking, you guys are wondering why TiVo is failing in Australia. I'm staring at this television, and that's the reason why. It's because basically there is zero ability to sell an external device in this country for showing television on, because obviously the future is that you do the whole lot software-based off of the television itself.
Sounds like DLNA, is it?
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
So. Yeah, but look, it's just... It was amazing. It's amazing how like they're just stacking all this stuff into the televisions now. And so when you're talking about why doesn't TiVo release the latest version of its device over in this country, well, that would have cost a fortune. And I'm sure that the American guys on the show will be able to talk about this a bit more. But there's TiVo's been there for so much longer that it's so much more culturally ingrained to use a TiVo over there. Whereas over here, we've got, 3 free-to-air television channels to record TV with, which sucks. You don't even need 4 input cards to record TV with because there's not even enough channels to record.
Having
there's
4
no
tuners,
usage for it,
Well, having 4 tuners on TV would come in handy for me personally, but I don't know about Jason or
I've had a couple of times when there's 2 shows recording, I'd like to be able to watch a third or something.
Yeah, definitely.
But it says, no, TiVo's got to switch over to another channel now, sorry.
Yep, that's what sucks about it.
I think this is a discussion we have to have a little bit further, a little bit later on, but let's talk to Chris, eh?
Yeah, let's talk to Chris. Chris, what's up, man?
Nothing much.
Dude, tell us about what you do on the internet and YouTube channel. You have a YouTube channel. Do you do app reviews and review and that sort of stuff? And yeah.
We do social media marketing. We have a consulting firm called Strategics One. We handle clients around the world. We train people in social media marketing, and then we also manage clients day-to-day, 24/7 operations on social media marketing. We basically are their presence online. Sometimes it's cheaper to hire somebody to do it than to do it internally. You don't hire a bunch of people. And so we do all that. Been doing it for quite a few years now. The YouTube channel is pretty good. The Chris Voss YouTube channel. It hosts most of the stuff that goes to the blog on the chrisvossshow.com. And I think just about 6 months ago, we became a partner with YouTube. So we're kind of excited about that. We're now getting AdSense money for all the work we put in. And it's pretty good.
All right, let's talk about some apps on you. Now, you do app reviews on your iPad. Do you have an iPhone for us, Chris, or an iPhone?
I have an iPhone and an iPad. And I pretty much just kind of do stuff that I really like that's kind of exemplary. Because if I did just any old iPhone app, and I get a lot of requests to do that, it get a little redundant. So I try and stick with stuff that's really kind of cutting edge, that's really kind of social media based, and stuff that really is, it's kind of technologically advanced. Other than just, I have tons of people that are like, please do my app, and I'm like, look, it's just another music app. Give me a break.
Will you review our app when it comes out?
I have your app, and I'm trying to get it to work.
No, that's the old one, mate. You have to remove that. Wait till the new one comes out.
Yeah, there's a lot of companies that got kind of put over the fence in 5.0. That was probably what happened.
Yeah, definitely. And what about the new color app, color for Facebook? I want to get your view on this and mine as well. What's your view on that?
Color's pretty cool. Originally, the company called a lot of crap because they were awarded some of the highest amount of money that's ever been put into a startup, which was $40 million. And the trades beat it up pretty hard. The app was so intelligent and so out ahead of its time that people really didn't get it. And then part of the problem is the guys didn't really realize that, and this is a problem in the tech industry, they realize that they get it, but there's a thing you have to communicate to the normal people and help them understand it. So they went through the process of a failure of an app launch with Color originally, and I think it had some beautiful ideas. Robert Scoble did a thing on it that he interviewed him, and they had some brilliant ideas. They just poorly executed, and they didn't really. I mean, if you're going to do something as advanced and highly technical, you've got to educate your public. Yeah. You've got to educate your clientele, your potential clientele. So they went back to the drawing board after it failed, and they've come up with Color for Facebook. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have it's about half of its potential right now, or maybe a quarter of its potential right now. They're quietly launching so that it's not getting the scrutiny that it would get, and seeing how people adapt to it. But right now it's in a phase where it's just, I believe, 30 seconds of video. Yeah. And there's no audio.
No audio. No.
But it's completely integrated with Facebook. If I put comments on the video on Facebook, or anything that's on my Facebook, or I'm sorry, if I put comments on the Color app, it puts them on the Facebook. And literally the Color app is almost like an extension of Facebook. I can see my whole wall, my activities and photos. So if I like using Color, I don't have to go to Facebook. I can
exactly. Color. To be honest, that's what I've been using for the past week or so. You got me onto that app, and I can't stop using it. I love it. And
the thing that's going to be coming is what's called the social graph with with Facebook, where it's going to be very integrated. It's going to be on your timeline. You'll see it in those social graph boxes like the Washington Post has and everything else. And so there's a whole more external level of integration that's going to come, or next step that's going to come probably later next year, they said, or earlier next year.
Yeah, for sure. And the timeline features
potential beyond. I mean, if you just look at it now, you're kind of like, well, 30-second video, no audio. But it goes directly to Facebook. There's no stepping stones, etc.
That's good. And also the timeline feature is really good. You can actually go back to the first photo you actually posted on Facebook, which is quite good.
Well, if what Facebook has done is what most people don't really realize. They have created with Timeline a journal of your life.
Yep.
And now with, it started with audio and with pictures and Instagram. Now we're moving to video because that's where we're going with mobile. And finally, the technological aspects of it can deliver it fairly quickly and efficiently, where it didn't used to be able to do that. But what's happening is, like you said, it's creating a journal. It's not a written journal, but it's a picture journal, a video journal. And I was thinking about this the other day when I was recording my dogs, I think on Color or one of the other apps.
Yep.
And I thought, someday my dog is going to be here. Mm-hmm. And this is going to be really cool to go back and maybe look at someday in my life. And I kind of thought about myself someday maybe in a rocket chair somewhere reviewing my Facebook timeline. That might be a little far-fetched given the way tech companies work, but just the perception of that idea is pretty amazing.
Yeah. No, I really love the timeline feature on the app. It's really good, and you can just look at past photos and that sort of stuff, and it's quite good. Steve, what are your thoughts on the app, and any questions to Chris?
At first, you kind of told me about the app. I was kind of wondering maybe the relevancy of just having 30 seconds of video with audio, and I kind of just discounted it first, but it made me think, look at what Twitter's doing, and you can only really do, log out 140 characters at one time, but look how, much, Twitter's ingrained in a lot of people what they do. So I figure, why not have 30 seconds of video just put it on Facebook?
Yeah, definitely. All right.
And I think you really nailed it. It's basically the equivalent of a short tweet.
Yeah.
But it's an insight into what's going on in my life, and what's really cool is when I get a ring in from Brad or some of the other people that I follow on Facebook. They're using Color now, and it's kind of fun because I get like this doorbell ring, and it's a friend of mine, and I'm like, hey, let's see what my friend is sharing. He's sharing his experience, and I'm sharing mine. It certainly is a lot better than reading a string of content lines on Twitter.
Definitely. That's what I like about it. There's a few people from Color gave me a tour of the office I think it was yesterday. That was quite fun to look at. And
really, wow.
With 30 seconds, and it was interesting. Yeah, it was really good. And thanks to Bill for showing me that. And Jason, any questions, mate?
I think if Facebook are going to be doing a timeline thing, what would be a good feature for that would be a way to mark a particular post in your Facebook as an important event that could be highlighted on your timeline. So in 2 or 3 years' time, you can go back and have a look at all your important events. But as for Chris, how long have you been doing your YouTube channel, and what equipment do you use to record it?
I originally opened the account in 2006, and I really saw the vision of it then. And at that time, there were emerging little YouTube stars and people that were starting to dominate the YouTube airwaves as a presence. And I thought it was really amazing. In fact, I remember showing it to my friends. I tried to do some different videos myself that I was trying to find a place for me. But at the time, I was pretty ingrained in some of the other business elements that I had, and sitting around with a computer and a video thing. It wasn't the greatest. Wasn't the greatest in the world. So I really kind of left it for a few years and played with it on and off up until about 2009 when I started my blog. That's when we started doing videos, and I really see a future in video and mobile. And so I started doing videos along with my blog, and that's why we call it the Chris Voss Show. www.tech.com is because originally it was going to be a lot of videos, things along the lines of Leo Laporte that we want to take and do. But at that time, video wasn't working too good with Twitter and everything else. So since then, over the last couple of years, I think we've put up a lot of videos, probably not as much as we should or would have wanted to, but we're definitely doing it more now. I use a Logitech, I think it's a C30 or something. I'm not sure what it is. But it gives me 720p. I obviously need to quit screwing around and probably start recording with my iPhone that would give me 1080p.
Yeah.
The only question is, does anyone want to really see my mug in 1080p?
And what about editing? What software do you use for that?
Camtasia. Right. Camtasia for Windows and for Mac. Camtasia Studio.
I love Camtasia. It's great.
Yeah, they recently gave us a bunch of licenses, and we gave them away on the chrisvossshow.com. They were really a great group of helpful, wonderful people, and their editing software is just amazing. Just amazing.
I'll have to have a look into it. I just use iMovie at the moment for doing the Tech Webcast one. What particular features do you like about Camtasia?
The simplicity, it's so complex that like I almost feel like I'm wasting. I'm not utilizing the product correctly because there's so much stuff you can do. You can cut, you can edit, you can put in comments, you can put in like little balloons. And, there's so much stuff you can do. But for me, it's just really an easy process where I can put the video in. I can cut a piece or two out of it if I need to. And then for the most part, it's pretty seamless where it will upload the video to YouTube for me. When it gets done uploading the YouTube video, it opens up the YouTube video page, which is really nice. And basically says, hey, here it is right there. The process is pretty seamless for me, which, the less things I can screw up, the better. Because usually I'm multitasking through a billion different things. Yeah. And so I really love it that way. I think a lot of the people on YouTube that are YouTube stars use the software, and because I see all the different things I can do with the software, it really is just a matter of time and stuff. And since I'm not doing cat videos, there's not a lot of editing that I need to do.
Have you thought of going onto other platforms? The reason I ask is with our Tech Webcast one, we've got a blip.tv account, and when we upload to there, it automatically sends the video to YouTube, Boxy Box, Popcorn Hour, and several other platforms automatically.
I used Blip TV a little bit in 2009 or 2010 when we still had the 10-minute limits on YouTube. Mm-hmm. And there was also, I think, a bit rate limit or a size of file limit. Yep. And so we used Blip TV, and I think there's actually a Chris Voss Show channel on Blip TV. We liked Blip TV. They were very advanced and everything. It's just, everyone goes to YouTube to watch videos, so you go where the thing is. So once YouTube increased to 15 minutes and unlimited now, we pretty much stuck it out with them. But yeah, we were using Blip TV for our overruns when I would talk my ear off. And
yeah. Well, when we upload it to Blip, it goes over to YouTube anyway, so we cover all the bases.
Yeah, that's cool that they have that now. I don't think I've seen that yet.
Yeah, it auto posts it. Very handy
stuff. All right, any questions, Steve, for Chris?
No, I think that's about it. I think.
What about you, Aaron? Any questions for Chris, mate?
Yeah, I've got a few.
Go ahead.
Chris, so you were saying that you got 20 plus years of experience in the background. So what have you done that's made the Chris Voss that we know today?
Well, we started when we were very young, about 18, me and a business partner that I grew up with as a friend, a childhood friend. And we started some of our first businesses together, and we kept building businesses and then buying businesses. And we just always, we're always working on new stuff and adding things. So I think we ran a good core 3 solid companies for a good 13 years, I think, is how long that partnership lasted. And we invested in a lot of different things. We'd put ads in the paper to loan money to struggling companies, and usually we'd go in and find out the entrepreneurs were the problem. So we basically say, here's some walking money and we'll take over your company, but you're the problem, get out. So we got involved in a lot of different companies and businesses, and and had our toes in a lot of different stuff, and a lot of it's been brick and mortar. But even early on, we saw the advent of the success of what the internet would become. Back when I think in the early 90s, we saw, back then there was like Prodigy and what was it, CompuServe. And you would go onto these boards and you would buy stuff, and then you would auction off on these little boards. And I remember I said to my business partners at the time, I said, I'm making all this money doing this. I was a collector of Rush, the band Rush collectibles. And so I was collecting a lot of their stuff, and I would buy 2 of everything and then sell the 1. And I usually would make so much profit, it would pay for the whole transaction of buying 2. So, I said to him, I said, look, if we could create this online company that would be able to do stuff and run these auctions where it would be centralized would be really awesome. Of course, they thought I was crazy, and we didn't have the money because we were doing 2 different company startups at once. But within a year, they started eBay, and there it was.
Yeah, right.
So only in the last, I think 2000, I started blogging in 2007 for the mortgage business. And then after the mortgage business kind of went to hell, 2008, 2009, I started hearing about this Twitter, and I'm like, what's this Twitter about? They're like, I don't know. Right. So I started playing with Twitter, and I started noticing that I could send all this traffic to my blog or my websites. And I'm like, this thing's great. The more I work it, the more traffic I can get, It's just like a little machine. So we started gaming it and doing it, and people started calling me up going, it looks like you really succeed at this, and, can you help us out with it? And I'm like, yeah, sure. What, really?
Yeah, right. So you've built your whole website just off word of mouth.
Yeah, pretty much, pounding Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, the internet, basically.
Yeah, wow.
Gaming the systems. I mean, obviously we market, so.
Yeah, cool. I noticed there's...
Oh, sorry.
So I was just going to say, I noticed that you're far more partial to video rather than written material. I know that you were saying before that your vision was really about video, but do you think that like people get more interactive with you because you do video, or is it more so just because of the topics that you're talking about?
Video works really well for me because I've always been a CEO. I've always had employees. I've always been the mouth, if you will, and I've always had to be the talker, the seller. Get up in front of everybody and say whatever and hope it makes sense, I guess. So video works really well for me because it's horrible to edit me and to have to go through and edit the typing and stuff. I flunked English, so the commas will not be in the right place, neither will the periods. I have some people that write me that are complete spelling Nazis, and they're just ready to burn me at the stake. So through 2009 to 2010, it worked out very well because I'm pretty good about, I can just lay down 10 minutes unscripted and talk about stuff. And so video worked very well for me. And to me, I really saw that was the future of video. But I think there's a video that's on my site that explains kind of why I was doing video so much at the time. And I just really feel like I connected better with people where they got the real me. I mean, if you read someone's blog and, they've spent 2 hours editing it, it's perfectly spaced and all that sort of stuff. Am I getting the real you? I don't think I am. I'm getting a censored version. For all I know, every other swear word is in your mouth, and you have a lisp, and you're half retarded, but you can write well, And so, to me, through 2009, 2010, it was kind of a comfort level of doing video. In 2011, I kind of broke away from that. I started writing and typing more, and that was part of a laziness that was getting away from video and some of the frustrations we were getting with video. So now we're kind of back doing video again, and what's really motivated us is the YouTube revenue stuff, and we'll probably do more and more and more of that. But But I think it's a genuine thing. People connect with me more on video.
Yeah, cool. Very last question. So are you a YouTube partner?
Yes.
How do you find that Google look after you, like revenue wise? Like are they I guess I asked the question from the point of view of someone who might be thinking of investing their time into starting their own YouTube channel with some regular content. Like, do you find that they pay pretty well advertising wise, like for your videos?
Not initially. Not initially. I mean, there's different levels of the YouTube partnership, and there's other levels where it really comes down to the kind of traffic you can generate and what goes on. I mean, I find that talking about technical stuff and what I do with technical stuff, I don't get a lot of views, but I'm consistent. You just keep putting up videos. You look at Chris Perillo; he kind of does the same thing.
Yeah,
he doesn't get he gets a few thousand or maybe a few hundred people to watch his videos, but I think he has like 10,000 videos on YouTube or some insane figure. So with my videos, I think the biggest ones maybe got 10,000 hits on it. At best on AdWords, we might be making $100 like every few months or something like that.
Yeah,
so
right.
It certainly isn't something I'm gonna be paying the bills on or whatever. But for now, it's just one of those things you got to build it. Most of these people had to build their thing. The YouTube audience is largely, I mean, if you really want to make money, make cat videos and dog videos. I have a friend actually who runs a dog training business, and they train dogs, to protect and security, and it's insane what they teach dogs. It's crazy. And he makes about, I think, $6,000 a month from his YouTube video channel.
Oh wow!
But it's just one of those things. It's there seems to be this curve on the internet where the more mindless it is, the more likely it is to get a huge amount of views, and you're going to make a buttload of money on it. You got the drooling kid who's drugged up from the dentist. That gets like 2 million views. I share something on my YouTube channel that I made millions of dollars with my companies, and I get 200 views. I want to shoot myself in the face. But it's just that element. I mean, I have friends like Justine and Olga K and people that I know here in LA that they're huge YouTube stars, and most of their stuff it's angled towards that 10 to 15 age demographic that they live in YouTube, and I don't appeal to that. I mean, the closest thing I can get to that is I'm some old 40-year-old pedophile, looking guy.
Yeah.
Who's this old man?
I would have to agree. Justine does do some pretty cool videos. I have to agree. She does some pretty good, funny videos.
She does, and she's more based on entertainment. So there seems to be this curve where it goes cat videos, dog videos,
and I have to say,
videos.
She has to give away that gaming channel, mate. What is up with that? I can't watch it. Steve, you know what you're talking about, that gaming channel she does?
I think she put that on there. Well, she's not very much a gamer, I think.
No, I don't think either. I don't think, I'm going to leave that alone, but, I'm just saying,
I agree.
She's very smart in what she does. But,
yeah, she is.
It's really, the problem is what I do is business. No one wants to watch business. People want to go on, just like TV. They want to be entertained, and that's what she does, and a lot of the YouTube stars do very well. They do entertainment that's almost of a sitcom style TV quality.
Funniest home videos.
Yeah, they want funny videos. That's like the number one right there.
Exactly. All right. Well, let's jump into some news, mate, before we head off.
Alrighty, we can discuss that after the news.
Yep, sure.
Telstra has blamed a privacy breach for the disabling of internet services that's affected up to 1 million Big Pond email users. Telstra spokeswoman Karina Kiesler said the company was made aware of a privacy breach yesterday afternoon and disables its online billing. Big Pond Self-Care and My Account functions on its website an hour later. She said Telstra was investigating the problem and should have those services, including Big Pond email, back online this afternoon. It might be considered overcautious, but we'd rather be overcautious than take risks with our customers' private details, Ms. Kiesler said. We're working around the clock and we're going to have the site back up as soon as possible. The privacy breach is believed to have occurred on an internal website carrying information about Telstra bundle customers. Account details of just under 1 million Telstra customers were potentially compromised when the customer service website was openly accessible on the web. Details that could have been exposed include passwords, usernames, and email addresses. Ms. Kiesler said the customers were being kept informed about the situation on its website, and they can also contact Telstra. A venture that started in a Bondi flat is helping Microsoft unlock the power of its Kinect gaming gadget so that it can control home automation, read sign language, monitor hospital patients, and even enable users to edit movies or play music using just body movements. Kinect, released last year on the Xbox 360 and later expanded to the PC, allows users of the games console to play games and navigate the Xbox interface using just gestures and voice commands. Samsung Galaxy Tab 10.1 will be on sale next week after the High Court today denied Apple's request appeal against an earlier decision overturning the ban on the device. Late last month, the full bench of the federal court unanimously reversed a ruling that banned the Samsung Galaxy Tab 10.1 in Australia until a full hearing next year. The court had found that the original judge in granting the temporary ban didn't weigh up properly the strength of Apple's case. The decision is critical because if Apple was granted special leave to appeal against the decision, the Samsung tablet would most likely have never seen the light of day, as by the resolution of the case, it would have been overtaken by newer products. And it may be one of the technology world's most expensive efforts to give something away. Hewlett-Packard Co. said Friday that it's making webOS mobile system available as open source software so that anyone can use and modify it freely. HP snagged the intuitive webOS software when it paid $1.8 billion in 2010 for Palm Inc. in what became a failed effort to revive the flailing smartphone pioneer. HP said it still plans to develop and support webOS. First released on the Palm Pre smartphone in 2009, webOS ultimately ran on several smartphones. In July, HP also used it on its tablet computer, the touchpad. The webOS software was marked by its multitasking capabilities and the ability to view open apps as cards that you can slide across the screen, tap to enlarge, or flick to dismiss. Initially, it was generally well reviewed by technology critics. The mobile devices never caught on with consumers, though, many of whom were more enticed by Apple Inc.'s iPhone and iPad and smartphones running Google Inc.'s Android software. Developers also weren't that interested in creating apps for such a small audience. HP hopes that by offering it to open source community, more mobile apps will be developed. The move could also mean that other consumer electronic manufacturers would decide to make devices that use the software. That's the news for today.
All right, question for you, Jason. How much are the next week they come out, Samsung Galaxy Tab 10.1, how much are they going to be on sale? How much?
I think they're like $578 or something like that.
Oh, okay. That's good. All right, that's good to know. Any last words before we go? Any questions before we go, Steve or Jason? Or
I'm pretty much done.
Steve might be talked out. Chris, any last words before we go, mate? What do you want to add in?
There's a new app that I saw today that falls in line with the color app. It's called Record.
Oh, yeah, I use that.
It's kind of like record, only there's two O's instead of an R at the end. Record.
Yeah, I might.
And it actually does what color does, only it's 10 seconds, and it actually records audio and very good video.
Yeah, I might give that one a miss. I think I'm not really a fan of that one.
Here you go, Brad. The ROP of its 16 gig Wi-Fi Galaxy Tab would be $579, and the 3G version $729, exactly the same price as Apple's base Wi-Fi and 3G iPad models.
Good on you, mate. Good on you. That's good to know. That's good to know.
Keep an eye out on Brad's Twitter feed to hear when our app is approved in the App Store.
Yeah, make sure you update on that. And Jason, I'll let people know and then go and buy it and that sort of thing. And 99 cents is probably going to be worth it, I think. 99 cents.
Yep.
And don't forget, I'm going to do a review on it too. So
yes. Now we're going to get some codes for people too, Jason. If we're going to give away some codes, and
next week's our last show. Don't forget, everyone.
Oh yeah, last show next week probably be a little bit longer than expected and a bit of craziness in it as well, I think.
Yeah, tune in and don't try not to lose the game.
No, don't true. Yeah, that's it. And Chris, where can I find you on Twitter, mate?
Thank you at Chris Voss. And on the chrisvossshow.com.
Wicked, mate. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for being on. Jason, where can they find you?
Bluebilby.com and on Twitter at Warlock, WAULOK, and Bluebilby Apps.
Okay, you can find me on Twitter, Tech Webcast. And Steve?
Find me here at Justin TV, which is justin.tv/Linux Cool Dude.
And when do you have your last show for Christmas, Steve? When are you going to have your
I haven't decided yet. It'll probably be open chat. I won't have anything planned, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. And Aaron, where can they find you, mate?
They can find me on Twitter at OzTechNews, OZTechNews, and websites oztechnews.com, ozgadgetnews.com, and just recently launched ozgamingnews.com. Check that out. There's a few writers on that site.
Actually, talking of gaming, before we go to Dash Jason, what are your view on the new dashboard, mate? Update.
I haven't installed it on mine.
Oh, you haven't you? Oh, God.
I haven't turned my Xbox on this week.
You know how we had those two girls in a row on the show?
Yep.
The second one that we had on, what was her name again?
Danny Pup or something. Danny Up.
Yeah. You know, I felt really bad for her because when we were talking about the Xbox dashboard update, she was going, "Oh, I'm really excited about beacons. That's going to be a mad feature." And we were all just going like, "Oh, yeah, cool." Because I don't think anyone really knew what she was talking about.
No, I didn't know what it was.
But now that the updates come out, we all know what beacons are about, and they're brilliant.
It is.
Like, now we know what she was on about, eh? Like, you can basically just get notified when someone's playing a game that you tag as something to be interesting. That's a great idea.
It is.
It's really genius.
Love it. I've been
and
playing
they got Windows Phone and iOS apps for the live.
Forgot to mention that too. Yeah, of the iPad. Great app by the way too. If people want to download it, it's free as well. Made by Microsoft, and that's about it. And
catch you all next week.
Catch you all next week. Thanks for being on, Steve and Chris Voss.
Have a good one, everyone.
Love your app reviews, mate.
See you later.
Thanks, mate. And this has been Tech Webcast. And Jason, you lost the game.
I lost the game.
So did you,
Hi,
Steve.
Glenn from Aussie Tech Heads. Join Will, Eric and myself as we bring you the latest, most up-to-date important tech news that affects you from Australia and the world. A weekly podcast available each Friday through iTunes. Watch the live stream recording of the show at live.thesecrethub.com each Thursday night 7:30pm or GMT plus 10. Call in live via Skype or chat in our lounge. However you get us, just make sure you do. Listen or visit our website for more information, www.aussietechheads.com.au. Aussie Tech Heads, Australia's longest running tech news podcast.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to check out Tech Webcast on blip.tv and subscribe to our podcast on iTunes to make sure you always have the latest episode at your fingertips. Tech Webcast, Tech Talk for Geeks.